And now for our next news special report.
And now we're unraveling a story so controversial, it's got the whole nation talking. Squad member Cori Bush, a vocal advocate for defunding the police, finds herself in the hot seat, embroiled in a federal criminal probe by none other than Biden's Department of Justice. Allegations? Misusing taxpayer money for personal security. But here's where it gets juicy. Bush claims this is all a setup by right-wing organizations. Classic tale of political intrigue and accusations, but what is the truth? As we dive deep into the saga, you'll hear the things that might just change your perspective, and trust me, you don't want to miss my final thought on this. It's going to be a revelation that could shake the very foundations of our perception of justice in our republic. So stay with us. This is a story you can't afford to miss. Now, before we dive deeper into our explosive report, let's take a moment. Just like we unravel the truth behind the headlines, it's important to address personal health, specifically tackling excess belly fat. It's akin to uncovering hidden truths. It requires the right approach. Excess belly fat, the most dangerous kind, can put pressure on vital organs, much like corruption strains our republic's integrity. And that's why I and many others are turning to this scientifically formulated substance to manage weight, reduce cravings, and boost metabolism. And the best part, you can get 51% off for the rest of the month. Now, don't wait. Visit trimwithgary.com to take control. That's trimwithgary.com. It's linked in the description. Now, tonight we're tearing down the veil of political theatrics to expose a truth that could redefine the landscape of American politics. We're talking about Cori Bush, a name that's become synonymous with the Defund the Police movement. But now, she's the headline in a different story. A federal criminal probe initiated by Biden's own Department of Justice. Yes, you heard that right. The Department of Justice, under a Democrat administration, is investigating one of their own. The charges, misuse of funds, and it's not just any funds, taxpayer money meant for personal security. Now, the irony is thick, considering Bush's vocal stance against police funding. But what's truly staggering is her response. Instead of addressing the allegations head-on, she's deflecting, pointing fingers at what she calls right-wing organizations. Classic political maneuvering, blame the other side. But when the accusation comes from your own party's DOJ, that argument loses its luster. Now let's talk facts. The inquiry is zeroing in on her member representation allowance. It's called the MRA. And the MRA is essentially a budget for official expenses, but it seems Bush may have been using it for something else. The House Sergeant at Arms, after consulting with the Office of General Counsel, has deemed compliance with the subpoena as necessary. This isn't just a casual inquiry, it's a full-blown investigation. But what does Cori Bush have to say about this? Well, when confronted directly by reporters, she clammed up. Now, Max Cohen from Punchbowl News recalls how she declined to comment, even reprimanding him. Seems like someone's not ready to face the music. However, Bush eventually released a statement. She confirmed the DOJ investigation, but insists she's done nothing wrong. She claims to have used campaign funds, not federal tax dollars, for her security. But here's the thing. Her campaign has spent over $750,000 on security services since 2019. So that's not chump change. And it raises the question, why so much? And where is it all going? Now, this clip shows Bush blaming conservative groups for the probe. A diversion, a classic tactic. But the facts remain. Conservative watchdog groups have raised flags over payments to Courtney Merritt's, whom Bush married nearly a year ago after hiring him as a security guard. Well, the concern? Well, these payments might not be for bona fide services at fair market value. Bush's statement, while defensive, doesn't quite hold water. She says she's cooperating with all investigations, including those by the Federal Election Commission and the House Ethics Committee. The Office of Congressional Ethics even voted unanimously to dismiss the case, but the DOJ's involvement, that's a whole different ballgame. So take a look at this clip explaining the charges and the allegations. It's not just smoke. There's a fire here, and where there's fire, there's usually something burning. Watch.
Some breaking news from Capitol Hill. We know that the Justice Department launched an investigation, and now we know that it's into Democratic lawmaker Cori Bush for alleged misuse of funds, because just moments ago, she released a statement confirming that. Julie, what more can you tell us about what the Congresswoman has to say?
Yeah, Chris, it's a lengthy statement. This is the first time we are hearing from Congresswoman Bush since we had reporting that the House Sergeant at Arms was served this grand jury subpoena. I want to read you a part of that lengthy statement. She says in part, quote, "I have not used any federal tax dollars for personal security services. Any reporting that I have used federal funds for personal security is simply false." She then goes on to say we are fully cooperating in this investigation. She also, Chris, in this blames right-wing media for propagating this information, which she calls false. But nonetheless, this is a pretty serious matter. The fact that the House Sergeant at Arms was served with this grand jury subpoena on Monday, the fact that this was entered into the House record on the floor. This process, of course, as all grand jury processes are in secret. Of course, we don't expect to find out more information when it comes to their investigation, when it comes to the process. But it is significant that Bush, the Congresswoman from Missouri, a progressive, she's been loud on so many issues, particularly when it comes to Israel and Gaza in recent months, is now admitting that she is the target of this grand jury subpoena investigation. Again, though, denying that she has done anything wrong, denying any wrongdoing, but still admitting that she is the subject of this and saying again that she will cooperate fully and is cooperating fully with this investigation, Chris.
Julie Sirkin, thank you.
And now let's shift gears to the bigger picture. This isn't just about Cori Bush, it's about the double standards in our justice system. If it were you or I, ordinary citizens accused of misusing funds, we wouldn't get the benefit of doubt. We'd be facing the full brunt of the law. But when you're a political elite, the rules seem to bend. It's a glaring example of the dual system of justice in our country, a system where some seem to be above the law and others, well, they're not so lucky. This is the kind of corruption that erodes the foundations of our republic. We cannot have a system where political figures play by different rules. Not just unfair, it's fundamentally against everything our republic stands for. And Bush's situation is a perfect illustration of this. An advocate for defunding the police, yet spending a small fortune on personal security, hiring her husband, and potentially using taxpayer money to do so. The hypocrisy is astounding. It's like saying one thing and doing another. It's a betrayal of the public trust, and it raises serious questions about her suitability as a representative of the people. And let's not forget, Cori Bush has been a controversial figure since she unseated Lacey Clay back in 2020. Her stance on defunding the police has been divisive, to say the least. But this is a whole new level. It's not just a political stance, it's a potential criminal action. And the fact that she's facing a probe from the DOJ of her own party's administration, now, well, that speaks volumes. So the story is a stark reminder that no one's above the law. It doesn't matter if you're a member of the squad, a vocal activist, or a political newcomer. If there are allegations of wrongdoing, they must be investigated thoroughly and impartially. And if these allegations turn out to be true, there must be consequences. So as we watch the drama unfold, we got to remember the principles that our republic stands for. Accountability, integrity, justice, they're not just words, they're the bedrock of our society. When our elected officials fail to uphold these values, it's not just a personal failing, it's a failing of our system. And it's a reminder that we, the people, must hold our leaders accountable. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. As we conclude tonight's report, let's reflect on the gravity of what we've discussed. The story isn't just about Cori Bush or a probe into her alleged misuse of funds. It's a sobering reminder of the responsibility that comes with the highest public offices. When elected officials, tasked with the sacred duty of representing the people, falter in their integrity, it shakes the foundation of our republic. So this isn't a partisan issue, it's simply a matter of principle. Whether you lean left or right, the expectation of honesty and accountability remains constant. Now, this case exemplifies the critical need for transparency and adherence to ethical standards in our political system. As citizens of this great republic, it's our duty to remain vigilant, to question, and to demand that those who represent us do so with honor. Remember, our republic is only as strong as the trust we place in those who govern. So let's ensure that trust is well placed.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.